Hi everyone, it's Brittany here, and I'm here doing my first process video, so please bear with me if it's a little bit off. This is my first time editing a video of any sort. So anyways, today we're going to make a card, and I'm using a red card base, and I'm going to be using these dies here from Avery Elle, and these are called the Finished Frames die, and I'm just going to be using the big one on a white piece of paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. And it looks a little wavy there. I had a bunch of scraps in my thing, so it kind of got distorted, but yeah, anyways. And then I went ahead and measured the inside there, and I cut a piece of this pattern paper, which is from the Authentique paper pad, which I will show in just a minute. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Distress ink in peeled paint and ink around the edges of that white piece just so that it's not so stark white, and we can, it'll kind of bring it all together. So here I am, I'm just going to go ahead and ink around those edges, and the center doesn't have to be covered or anything because we're going to cover that with our pattern paper. And this is super fun. It's totally different for me, but hopefully it turns out okay. I need to figure out my speed and stuff a little bit better. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to try. So anyways, yeah, here I am going to just finish inking that up, and then we'll stick on that stocking piece on there. And you can see when I hold this paper up, it looks a lot better. It kind of looks a little more cohesive and kind of vintage. I really like that look though. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this is just a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to take the little penguin and also the Mary, the hat with the Mary, and stamp these out. I stamped the penguin 3 times just so that next time I want to use him I can just die cut him out. And I stamped him in Memento, and I stamped the Mary in Simon Says Stamp Green Leaf. It's a little bit more bright than I had wanted, but it still looks good. So I'm just going to go ahead and run these through my die cutter. I love that about these dies. You just line them up and they cut perfectly right on the edges. And these are available in the shop. I will put the link for that down below. And yeah. So here I'm just going to go ahead and tape this down and run that through my die cutting machine. And it'll leave it with a nice little white border, which is super cute. Okay, and now I'm done, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove that tape, and I'm going to color the penguin up. Here a good tip is to use a piece of washi tape that you've already used. It was kind of pulling a lot, so I was a little worried it was going to tear the paper. But anyways, so now I'm going to go ahead and color up this little penguin with my Copics. For his belly, I'm just going to use C1 and the colorless blender. So I'll just go right along the edge with the C1, and or maybe that's C2. I'll show you in just a minute. And then take the colorless blender and just kind of blend that out. That way there won't be a line there of where I stopped coloring. And then I'm going to color his back. Yeah, C1 and the colorless blender. And now I'm going to color his back, and I'm not actually going to use the black. I'm going to use some different C colors, which are C7, C6, C5, C4, oh, and my camera fell, so that's what that was. But I'm going to use C7, C6, C5, I got a little out of order there, and then C4, C3, and C1. And you don't need every step of the color just because they blend so well anyways. So those are just the ones I use, but I'm just going to color lightly around the edges and kind of fade in so he looks more round. So we'll just fade into that light gray there. And you want to make sure you get it nice and saturated so that the colors blend well and you don't have any real sharp lines in there. So you can see without using the actual black, we still get that black appearance, which is really nice. And almost done. You just want to kind of stick with the shape of the stamp. Okay, and now I'm just going to go in with that C1 and just fill in the rest of that white space. And just color that up real good. And then I realized that I forgot his feet, so I'm just going to take that C7 and I'm going to color in his feet all the way. And I didn't really bother with any shading here, I just went ahead and colored those in. And same thing with his nose. I'm going to come in and color his nose with the YR04, just to give it a little bit of color. And it makes it just pop a little. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab some pop dots after I clean up my desk a little bit. I get quite messy when I make these cards because I throw everything all over my desk. So now I'm just going to go ahead and lay these down where I want them. And my tape gun, of course, doesn't work. It messes up for this video. So luckily I have my other one that I always keep on hand in case that happens. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this piece down, and then we'll adhere that stocking piece down as well. And I just want to make sure that that's nice and centered on here. I love the little stitch marks because they actually go diagonally, and it'd be super fun to do, you know, like you could color those in like a candy cane or something. I think that would be super fun. And it comes with one of the littler ones. I believe it's about a 3x4 and it's a smaller one, which would be great for layering, or you could use them for all kinds of different stuff. So I'm super excited to play with these a little bit more. But here's my back card, and I really like how that turns out. It looks like he's kind of walking down. It reminds me of like Pinocchio when they walk down the alleys and people have their laundry hanging all over. And I just thought that this was super cute like that. So that's just what that reminded me of, like little penguin walking through there with all the stockings hanging. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of my pop dots and I'm going to put that on the penguin in his hat. I don't think I got it on video because I ran out of memory, so I had to delete some stuff before I did. But I went ahead and I put a little bit of my Wink of Stella on the star by the Mary and also on the white fluffy of the hat, just to give it a little bit more sparkle and a little more interest. So there's the penguin popped up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it on the Mary, but I'm not going to get too close to where it overlaps the head because that will just sit on top of the penguin there. And these pop dots are super three-dimensional. They're really thick. They're from Michaels, and I don't use them a whole lot just because they stick out so far. But it was kind of fun for this kind of project just because it gives him a lot of dimension, and it's really fun. So there's the outside, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think there's enough going on where we don't have to add anything. But for the inside, I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of white paper, and this paper is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I just used the Christmas greeting from that Paper Smooches stamp set, and then I used one of the presents from the Avery Elle stamp set.